And good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Bob. I am your griot, your Sensei Bob, here to tell you a story. And
Attack Russia. Oh. Base.
10 females to each male.
Go to machine.
Fluids.
The Doomsday Machine. Blast off! Where's my shorts?
Where's the bathroom?
Buck, should I get it?
On the hotline. Dr. Strangelove. Or how I learned to stop worrying and
Love the bomb.
I shouldn't tell you this, Maverick, but you're a good officer and you have a right to.
you got a right to know. I shouldn't tell you this, but you got a right to know. Here we are, 1 minute and 40 seconds, and this could be our last show. We've had a number of coronal mass ejections on the sun, and large X-flares are heading our way. One hit us last night while we were all asleep. It kind of disrupted the other side of the Earth, but they were awake and noticed it, and here we are. So I'm got the opportunity to say I love you, and remember, conscious intent, I am. Conscious intent, I am. Conscious intent, I am. Aho. Amen. And what is that? That is a centering of your psychic energy to being conscious and not letting things just move, letting yourself be controlled by this little device, this little attention getter. So, it's a beautiful day here, and I'm going to go and do my laundry. And I do it the old grandma way, in a bucket with a thing, and put it up in the sun and dry it off. And pretty much my whole life, I mean, if we didn't have it, if the X-flare really knocks out the electricity, because, our electric grid is like, we haven't upgraded it since 1964. So, along with virtually everything in our virtual reality is ancient technology. It's not even close to being up to par. And so we're a third world country, the United States, and the people think, oh, we're exceptional. We're number one. No, not really. We're not number one in education. We're not number one in healthcare. We're number one in spending money on healthcare, but we're like 38th, like Cuba and Vietnam and a few other countries. 38 of them are ahead of us. Pretty much when this pandemic happened and everyone locked everyone down in Europe, all those countries gave their population money to survive, not just 2 checks, check of $1,200 every week. That's why their economy kind of stayed together, and ours is like, ooh, the rich people like Jeff Bezos made a lot of money. He made something of the order of $38 billion in about 5 months. So, what did you make, between January 2020 and July 2020? Not 48, 38, 98, billion, No. And that, the usual suspects, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Moron Boy, Facebook, Jeffy Bezos, and a few others, they have 90% of the wealth. This is, worse than the Gilded Age. And we're talking about, wearing a mask, you know, guys, And, people go, oh, I hate Biden. I hate Donnie. I hate, JoJo. I hate, no hate. Hate gets you nowhere. You know, love is the only thing that is real. Love is it. And you should be glad. I pretty much, at least 20 times a day, go interstate and say conscious intent I am. It means I'm connecting with love's co-creation. Right? I'm there to serve love's co-creation of one love, not myself, not any political party. I'm here to love, right? And is the next guy, and you know, what can we do about that? So actually, I don't know if I told you this story. I first want to say thank you for coming to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob. I am your griot, your teacher, your storyteller, your Sensei Al Bob. And so last week, I had to deal with the doctors and get medication, and my car broke down into this and then that, and and I was trying to deal with things, and every place I went, it was like an obstacle. And I went into the Dollar Tree, my favorite store, because everything is a dollar, not like the Dollar General where it's like $5 and above. And then there's a store called Everything Below $5. Yeah, everything's $4.99. And so the I go into the thing, and I only had needed two or three things, and as I was hobbling towards the cashier, about 10 people ran in front of me. And there was this one woman who just wouldn't, she just had to blah, 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 blah. Over there, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. And, there's still 9 people in front of me, and some have carts full of stuff. I only have three things. And I go, and I just put it up to the side and walk out. And I have $4 in one hand and $5 in the other. And that's all I had until I get my Social Security check. And I have to thank you. Whoever sent me, a few dollars in PayPal. I just want to show that it's there and put it in my bank, and thank you. So it works, Just go to PayPal. It says, who do you want to send this money to? Due to wake 42 at Gmail. Due to wake 42 at Gmail. Due to wake 42 at Gmail. And you can get a hold of me at Gmail. We can communicate personally. So you want to ask me any personal questions. And a few people who have been here from the beginning who kind of seem to not be there anymore, and Buddy is one of them, and he is, communicated on Gmail. And thank you very much, Bud. Good to see you. And Buddy's doing really well in his heart and soul. I wasn't worrying about Bud that I hadn't heard from. So there was one person there, and then good old YouTube knocked him off. Like, I am such a. I must be doing something right to be so stepped on by YouTube. I mean, they don't get rid of me. It's just don't let anybody. They can watch the show later, but they can't communicate. They can't. We can't have an open dialogue. But if you communicate to me at Gmail, due to wake at Gmail, due to wake 42 at Gmail, due to wake 42 at Gmail, due to wake 42 at Gmail. And if you go to PayPal, and they ask what account you want to put it in, due to wake 42 at Gmail. I'd really appreciate it. And thank you for that one person who sent me money. And thank you is a very important word. You should be using it all the time. Anybody you see, anybody you talk to. Thank you. So anyway, there I was at Dollar General, not Dollar General. I hate Dollar General because they have destroyed the economy of this little holler neighborhood, about 100 square miles. They put up $5 generals and it knocked out 20 mom and pop little stores that employed about 200 people, and all the money that went into that store stayed in our county, not in Dollar General. It goes to whatever LLC they are in Maryland, and then goes to God knows where. And anyway, so I was coming out of Dollar Tree, and I had $4 in one hand and the $5 bill in the other. And I walk over, and in front of the store next to Dollar General, the guy he's put a bench out in front of his store right next to Dollar General. And Dollar General has let him do it because all the homeless people go in and buy. So they, like 1/10 of their commerce is from homeless people. Homeless, they have a lot of food in there. I mean, you know, chips and canned food, and it's all $1, and they can afford that. And they have meats there, so you can buy a pack, 6 hot dogs for $1, right? And usually these guys buy a pack of hot dogs and a thing of cheese and a drink, right? And so maybe some chips. And so I'm coming out, and there's this guy, and he's got his own canteen, so he didn't buy a drink, and he only has a pack of 6 hot dogs, and he's opening it up. And I have the $5 bill in one hand and 4 in the other, and I'm going, well, this is the only money I have until about 10 days from now. I'm going to give this guy $4 or fine, $4. And I said, it doesn't make a difference. I'm going to give him the $5 bill. So I go over to him, hey, but this is for you. He looks at me and goes, no, you need it more. And I said, you're homeless too. And, he's kind of right. I live in the woods. But, I am homeless, but I'm, not as, I'm not, there's a gradating scale, right? So who knows what this guy is, but I'm about here. And so, and that's all right by me because I chose to do that. I really scaled down after I died in 2014, and I quit the corporate world. I quit, working for the desperate lawyers, and I scaled way down. I got rid of everything I had except my little lodge out in the middle of the woods, which isn't even mine, and pretty much don't own anything. And my lodge, I have water, and I have backup power and backup water, and I have a garden, and it, there have been a number of CMGs that have gone down in the last 2 days, and they seem to be racking up to do more and more, and so it's going to be interesting. So one already hit Earth and kind of rocked it a bit, and another one's on its way, and it's lining up on the corona of the sun that we may be into a big boom, boom, boom of coronal mass ejections of X-Wave, which are high energy particles that will disrupt, will fry, integrated circuits. It will copper wire to all the undersea cables. So, as I said, back in January or December of 2020, that 2021 was going to be way more wild and crazy than 2020. And 6 days into it, when we had that little soap opera at the Capitol, we went off to the races. So, and we just keep having these little bright shots. So and I said, the big thing that's going to occur is that, before Halloween, the internet is going to be gone because the internet is like 1960s technology, has no protection. People, after 9/11, they said, oh, we better watch out for that. And all our electricity is run it, all our gas, all our water, all our septic is interconnected by a 1960s technology of the internet, and so is our nuclear power. We have about 128 nuclear power plants that should have been shut down in the 1980s, but Ronald Reagan signed an executive order saying these things can stay open as long as they can stay open. And so trillions of tons of high-grade radiological material is stored right on site. So let's think about 10, 20 Fukushimas occurring in America in a week, and not only does the plant go up, and it wouldn't be a nuclear explosion, what Fukushima was, the core overheated, it flashed the water, the billion gallons of water that was keeping that reactor cool, into hydrogen and oxygen. The pressure in the building got to a point, the heat got to a point, boom. So if you ever saw those, go on the internet and watch the reactors in Fukushima blowing up, and it was a chemical explosion, but it shot nuclear material all over the place. Now, our reactors are way bigger. They've been cooking way longer, and they have way more, stored nuclear material on site. And all those, used fuel rods from the swimming pools that need to be cooled all the time. So you get a disruption of the water going just over the stored fuel rods. You'll have that hydrogen oxygen experience. So just think about 20 of those going off and then spreading nuclear fissile material all over America, causing radiation sickness. Without a nuclear detonation. But Russia, when it went bankrupt and fell apart in the 90s, and then the early O's, they couldn't pay anybody anything, and then so there were tons of facilities all over Russia where people just took, bomb grade fissile material out of the place